Hey everybody, welcome back to Shock and Schlock. I'm your host, Herschel Gillis, and today I'm recording on my phone with my old headphone mic because I don't have my computer with me. I won't explain why. It's a long story, but yeah. I'm going to explain why I haven't posted as frequently at the end of this video as well, and what's going on. So today, though, I'm reviewing the 2020 short film Heck by Kyle Edward Ball. It is the precursor to his feature-length film that came out recently called Skinamarink. It is much the same concept, and it's definitely something I've been wanting to talk about just because Skinamarink has been fairly controversial. Not in like a typical sense, I just mean like people have very differing opinions, and I've seen scores that range from half a star out of 5 on Letterboxd to 5. People saying this is one of the best horror movies ever made, some people saying it's the worst. And I don't want to add to this whole thing with Skinamarink. So I won't be doing a full review on that film, but I will be doing a review on Heck, as I'm doing here, which was Mr. Ball's first attempt at this sort of almost analog horror, focusing more on buildup of tension through like the viewer having, thoughts in their head about what's happening when it's not happening in reality. Like, the entire film is shot in pitch black darkness, in first person from a child, and the child has a flashlight, and what we see is just what's illuminated by the flashlight throughout the film, and the noises we hear are stuff from inside the house and such. The story itself is just about a child who wakes up and all the windows and doors in his home are locked. He's in complete darkness and he's looking for his mother. That is the entire story. Doesn't really go anywhere unexpected. I won't lie about that part. You do find out what's implied or what is happening, why the child is locked there, what happened to the child's mother, all that stuff. But the base premise is pretty much what you're going to get. You're not going to get a whole bunch of twists and turns. You're not going to get really a plot. You're just going to get this like premise, I guess. Like, it's a concept of a movie. And it's more about the feeling that it makes you have. It's more of an experience than a typical narrative film. And a lot of people are going to hate it. Just like what I've seen is Skinamarink. The film appears to be very love it or hate it. This one, if you watch it, is going to be very much the same thing. But the difference is between the two as well is that Heck is 29 minutes, whereas Skinamarink is over an hour and a half. So there's a significant difference there. And while I haven't seen Skinamarink myself, Heck is not a short film that I think would do well as a full-length film, which is why I won't be reviewing Skinamarink either, because I have a feeling that I will not enjoy it. I will go in with an open mind, but there won't be a review. But Heck is a strange film to try to review, because I truly believe what you expect going into the film is definitely going to have an impact on what you get out of it, and the experience that, or like this is a film with like preparation. So this is a film that if you watch it in broad daylight in a brightly lit room like I am right now, it's probably not going to do very much for you. This is a film that's based around your fear of the dark and like that innate childhood fear of the dark in you. So if you watch this in a bright room, you're really doing yourself a disservice. You're just going to be watching a kid bumbling around for 29 minutes, and occasionally something spooky will happen, or there'll be some creepy noises. But if you're like me, and you watch this at midnight in complete pitch black darkness with headphones in, this was one of the most terrifying films I've ever seen. It's very engrossing to watch. It's almost hypnotic. And as the kid, I believe he's not named, is wandering around this house, these like sounds and everything, it is very like, I don't want to say nostalgic, but it does bring back those feelings of being a kid wandering around your house in the middle of the night and you see like a jacket on a chair and you think it's a monster. That this film plays on that idea. But in this case, spoiler alert, there is something there, but it's not there every time you think it is. So it definitely keeps you on your toes in that way. There's some great imagery in this, I think. I do think the sort of concept and the way that it's shot does, the effect sort of wears off at some points. And I have a feeling that if you watch this in broad daylight and you're not fully engrossed, you're going to find this film very boring because the jump scares are there and the tension is there, but you have to be engrossed in this film. This is not a film to just have on in the background. It's not a film to watch during the daytime. It's a film to watch during the night because it's like an experience. It's a film experience rather than a typical narrative. It doesn't have a set plot structure. The way the film is made up is actually I found rather clever. Just a small thing, but the way that time passes, the entire film, or short film, takes place at night over the course of, well, this is slight spoiler, I suppose, but over a course of years. It always takes place at night, and just like a child would be able to tell time, it measures things rather than days or hours. It measures it in sleeps. Like, if you're a kid, you're like, oh, I only got 3 sleeps till Christmas, or 2 sleeps, you know what I'm talking about? And I thought that was really clever because the child, the entire thing is told through his perspective. So I feel like it really fit the film in that way. I think the payoff is pretty good. I think the last line of dialogue, while there is not very much dialogue in this film, the final line is very haunting and affecting. But if you're not into it, once again, it's not going to be something that you're going to enjoy. This is a film that you're either going to really find to be terrifying and gripping, or you're going to find to be really boring. And I truly do believe it depends on the time of day and your notions of what this film is going to be about going in. This is not a film with a ton of action. It is literally just walking for 29 minutes and pointing flashlights at things, and occasionally something will happen. And if that doesn't sound interesting to you, that's fine. I would give this one a pass. If it does sound interesting to you, definitely give it a watch, especially if you were somebody that enjoyed Skinamarink. I have a feeling that the 29-minute condensed version of that feature-length film does a much better job at doing this. So even if you didn't like it and you found it to be too drawn out, maybe give this one a try. I will, if my opinion changes on this film after I watch Skinamarink, I will come back and change it, but I have a feeling that it will not. But one way or another, it is free to watch on YouTube, on Kyle's YouTube page. I'm going to leave a link in the description to go watch it for yourself. It's an experience I recommend, but there's no shame in, not enjoying this one. Enjoy what you want, obviously, all the time, but this is definitely one I can see people disliking. I personally enjoyed it, but I know there are going to be a lot of people who don't, so that's fine. And yeah, it's my thoughts on Heck. I also think that, on a side note, the title's pretty clever because it's like a child's vision of hell, and a kid doesn't want to say hell, so they say heck, so yeah. But anyway, the reason I've been gone for so long is I have joined Severed Cinema as a contributor on their website. I have done 2 reviews as of now that are published. There's a 3rd one that I have submitted that's going to be, going through editing and get formatted for the website and everything. But yeah, that's kept me busy as well. Been really fun doing that. I'm continuing work on my mixtape. Going to have a short film announcement whenever that comes. Yeah, I've been shipping out banana box orders and everything, so thanks already for the patience, number 1, with my channel. Number 2, for the support that I've gotten from people when I joined Severed Cinema, and from the community, as always. My friends, that I've made through this are, you know, the entire point that I do this. I really enjoy speaking with people. So if you watch my videos and you want to ask me a question or you want recommendations or anything, always feel free to DM me on my Instagram. I leave the links down there for a reason. Um, yeah, we Spooky Celluloid and myself had horrible reviews on our podcast, The Open Casket, this week, which was also very fun. Make sure to go check that out. I'm going to leave a link in the description for that as well. And yeah, I'm going to be trying to do some reviews this week for the channel, get back to it a little bit. Found a couple of my Holy Grail items recently, so definitely going to be doing some reviews. So thanks, guys, for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Keep your notifications on. As always, I'm your host, Trishel Gillis. 0 thoughts, 0 brain cells, 0 editing, and 0 planning. Signing off for today. I'll see you guys this week. Thanks.